All right, here with co-offensive coordinator Scotty Walden. Coach Walden, first of all, thank you for joining us. And second of all, can you talk about this fall? And maybe if you could name one thing that's different between last year and this year on the offensive side of the ball, what would that one biggest difference be?
I think the biggest thing would probably be just discipline in the details. I think that, our guys understand how important the little things are. I see a conscious effort to, it's little things, jogging on off the field, making sure that, we understand the whole concept of the play, that we are, sticking around at a certain depth. But I think discipline details and being all in. And so understanding we're one unit, moving forward. The guys are doing a great job of buying in, and I see a camaraderie there because of it. I see guys that enjoy being around each other. The energy is different. There's positive energy, and but it's because our guys understand how important those details are, and they've really come together as a group. And I think they're unified, and they're all going one direction. And so that's been a very, very awesome thing to see, and I think it's going to be big for us in the long run.
This fall, one thing I've noticed a little different is practice schedule, the pace of practice. Can you talk about that and what you maybe Coach Faulkner wanted to do with maybe upping the tempo at practice, and what does that do for your offense?
Absolutely. Coach Faulkner and I, our background is real similar with tempo, and he's a great offensive mind and has an awesome background with the tempo scheme and stuff like that. And so, he and I, we want to push the pace. We want to push the pace. We want to attack the defense. And for us, we have to, in order to do that, we got to practice that way. And so, there's not a lot of standing around. Guys getting reps. You'll see, my wideouts. I'm blessed right now to be about 4 deep, and so they're all getting reps. So there's not a guy standing around. We're going to roll them through. We're going to, if we got whether it's an indie drill where we got two groups going in an indie drill, or whether it's a team setting where we find a way to get all 4 groups going. We can do that in our walkthroughs and run-throughs. We don't believe in walkthroughs, we believe in run-throughs. And so everything we do is all about reps. And we want to just rep these guys into submission to where we call a play and it's like the back of their hand, and there's no question of, what's my assignment here, what's my job here, and now I can go line up and I can play extremely fast. And so that's all we're trying to get out of practice, and I love the way the guys are accepting that tempo, and we don't want them to think, we want them to play. And so that's our whole goal.
You've got really 2 quarterbacks right now with Jack and Tate. And Jack had a really good year last year coming in, has made some really nice throws in camp. Tate, his arm strength has obviously gotten better.
Yeah.
He's worked really hard at it. For how hard is it? I mean, there's no way you can, when a guy works as hard as Tate has, you can't keep him off the field. It's just hard to do. Can you talk about maybe some of the ways you're going to be able to use Tate in this offense a little different?
Yeah, I think both those guys are still battling, and I think Tate is a kid that's very versatile. He's not just a runner. The kid can throw the ball. And I'll say this, and I don't know if guys see Jack Abraham has changed his body, guys. He's not just a statue back there. The kid has good feet in the pocket. He can extend plays, and we don't feel like he's just a statue that can stand back there and things break down. He can't do anything with the ball. He can run it too, So we feel really good about both their abilities, and I think at the end of the day, it's a long camp. We're going to battle it out and see who the better man wins. And we're always about personnel, so we're going to put our best players in the best spots available. And if that means one play we got to put Jack out at wide out and throw him a go ball, then we'll do it. Tell you we got to give him a jet sweep, we'll do it. But whatever our personnel is, Heath, at the end of the deal, at the end of the camp, we're going to find the best way to get those guys on the field.
Let me ask you this: are you an offensive coach that believes a dual quarterback system can work, or are you a guy who believes you need to have that one starter? What are you more?
It's funny you ask that. I was always in my career a guy that was like, we got to have one starter. And my last year at East Texas Baptist, when I was the head coach, I couldn't make a decision because both the guys were battling so hard. We had a real similar battle, and I ended up playing both of them actually, during the season. And so we didn't miss a beat with it. And I thought for sure it was going to make us, mess up, but we rolled, and it was impressive, to see one guy come in. He gave us his threat, and we just had certain packages. We understood a certain play, package for this guy and a certain play package for this guy, and it worked, And I just think whenever every situation is different, I think if the kids understand, okay, and they buy in, it don't matter what you do, to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? So they bought into that. If I had one of those kids say, Coach, no, I'm the guy, it probably wouldn't have worked. Both those guys are very humble, and And I think you got guys like that with Tate and Jack, and so we'll see what happens. But both those guys are competing, and there's no doubt, both of them want to win the job and fight for it, and we're going to assess that obviously at the end of fall camp.
You got Quiz back, hard work that he did in the offseason to get back. Talk about him and adding him to this wide receiver core that is just, I don't know if Southern Miss has had this much talent at wide receiver ever. Adding him to this list, you talked about, waves.
Yeah.
What he did to come back, what does that tell you about him, and what has that shown to the team about him?
That's right. It's a great question. I hated that this happened, but it's like Coach Hop says up front. We get what we deserve, and Quez, messed up in the classroom, and he had to pay the price, but I'll say this: I think now he sees that's the best thing that ever happened to him, because he was hungrier. He was at home, having to train on his own, having to do school on his own, having none of this structure, having none of this, and so I think it's the biggest blessing that he's had, because now he's hungry. He's hungry, and now we add him back to a receiver core that I feel like is one of the deepest I've ever had. It is the deepest I've ever had. And secondly, I don't know if I've ever been more excited to coach a group than this group right here. And it's not just because of their talent, but I enjoy going in the room with them and talking with them. They're good people. They're good people. They want to be great. They want to be pushed, and they want to be coached. And when you have that combination, man, you're going to have a lot of fun with that group. And so adding him to the mix with the fire that he has right now to get back on that field and get back to where he was last year, or I should say, evolve from where he was last year, because he's chomping at the bit to duplicate what he did last year and even up it. And I'm very impressed with him. He put in so much work in the summer, not only conditioning, but in the academic department on his own. Every time I go up there and check in study hall, he's up there working his tail off. He is just up there, and I'm so proud of him, and I want the best for him. I want him to have a great year, because he deserves it, because he's a kid that learned from his mistakes. He's bounced back, and now he's ready to take advantage of this new opportunity.
Last question right quick. Well, actually two. One, tight ends, probably the position on offense that there wasn't no returning really.
Yeah.
There's nobody returning there. How do you feel about the tight ends right now?
I feel really good. We added two really good players in our recruiting class, Narcus Driver and Luke Baker. I think those two guys saw Narcus today catch a good ball, and Luke has all the ability in the world. He's just a young pup. That kid right there, when we get him, in the weight room and get him matured, it's going to be unbelievable, man. And that's not to say he can't help us this year. We're going to see, but I'm so impressed with those two guys. But you got a guy, Ray Ladner, who's a walk-on here, guys. I coached him my first year here, and he's one of the toughest, hard-nosed kids I've been around. And he's going to play Southern Miss football, and we put him in there now. And so he's a kid that's physical. And then you got two athletic guys in Narcus and Luke, and Cole Cavallo's another one that stuck out to me that has been very athletic. And Will Patowski's completely changed his body since I coached him too in his first year here, and he looks totally different. I think Coach Stringer's done a heck of a job with those guys, and I think we got a great group of tight ends that we can choose from.
And that's about it. Offensive, the running backs, right quick. We all know about Anderson and Mosley. Can you talk about Kemp? Just a few words on each.
Yeah.
Kemp, Perkins, maybe TQ Newsom looks really good to me at running back. He's going to be a stud.
Yeah,
Can you
doubt.
just a couple of words on each?
Sure, yeah. Kemp is hard-nosed. Kemp runs with violence in his heart, and he's a kid that he's a smart football player. He understands where the ball can probably hit pre-snap. He is an extremely hard worker and runs behind his pads. I think he's got a chance to do some great things. Perkins, you saw today, has a lot of natural ability. Now he's about 225, and when he gets to going, he's a hard man to tackle now, and he's extremely, he's not 225 and stiff. He can make the cut and make a move, and so I've been really pleased with him. And then the last guy, TQ, Newsom, this guy, coming is just a pup, but I think graduating early, getting here in the spring was a big deal, and he is a very patient runner. He's a very smart kid. You're talking about a kid who made dang near, I think, a 30 on his ACT, made like a 29. He's very smart. So he understands where the ball's going to fit. He's patient enough to get there, and then he's a load when you got to tackle him. So I'm excited about those guys.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time with us. God bless you. We'll talk to you down the road.
God bless, bro.